Greetings. My name's Daniel Nelms from Final Frontiers Foundation.
Hello, I'm Joshua Martin, and we have a guest here today, the brother of this girl that you're about to see, this fourth grader in Kenya. Her brother is with us today. Caleb.
Hello, my name is Caleb. I'm the sister to Eclah, the one who was in the video, and I'm happy to be here today.
Everybody calls her Eclah. So when you're out there in the field through the video, you'll hear Eclah, Eclah. You'll hear this girl and this boy and everything. So
Thank you so much, Josh. First thing, let me say the video was so amazing. You did a good job. The message there was really nice. I really liked how you did everything, the story, how you captured it. My sister was so happy about it. My dad also, I told you about that. My mother, and I haven't shown it to the teacher yet because the school hasn't been open. But I'm waiting for the school to be open. Then I will go there and maybe show the teachers. I'm sure they're going to be happy. I'm a photographer myself, and I saw your work, and I was so happy about it. You did a good job, and I felt like it looked like a documentary. So I
that's what
thought
we're going
maybe
for.
how about a voiceover or something? And you brought this up, and I'm happy you did it.
From the beginning, Daniel has wanted to just kind of make it feel raw, just like you're right there, you're seeing it, and you have to imagine what's happening. And so there's not a lot of explanation. This is our chance to do the explanation now. We can really describe it to people. So I'm really glad she liked it. Did she laugh at a lot of different parts, or was she
Uh,
embarrassed?
a lot, a lot. She was used to pictures, but she wasn't used to videos. I've
Yeah.
never done a lot of videos. But when she saw herself in the videos, she would laugh a lot. Sometimes she'll bring you, if you're not attentive enough, she'll bring you close and tell you, yeah, okay, watch what I was doing there. And I saw she was so happy about it, just seeing herself with her friends. It was so
Yeah.
much exciting. And the school that she was at that time, she's still in the same school. A lot of students left the school. The school
Oh,
was almost being closed up, and a lot of other students, her friends, went to other schools, and they remained only like two students all in the class. She missed her friends, and the video was like reminding her about the past experiences she had with her friends during that time.
wow, that's sad that a lot of them had to leave. I'm sure the teachers will enjoy seeing that too. And Pastor Mayo
Yeah, Pastor Wilson Mayo. I
Wilson.
have not shown him yet. I want it to be a surprise. My mom actually was the one who was surprised. She told me she could not see you at some time. And there were videos
Yeah,
that she saw there that she didn't see you taking them. She was
that's
like,
good.
sometimes she could see you running. And then she came and told me, oh, he was running for this shot. I was like, yeah, he was running for this shot. And then he told me, how can we watch the whole video? Because till today, she doesn't understand how somebody can take a full 24-hour video, maybe a full 12-hour video, and
Yeah.
then someone can just see like for 2 hours or maybe like 26 minutes. And I always try to explain to her, you know what, we are editing this thing. We're not going to see everything. We're going to see the main thing. And
Yep.
she was like, "Oh wow, this is wonderful because I'm here to see the major characters and the major points where I can see them." But she was happy. She was happy. She was in the video, and she was happy seeing her daughter running around, doing lots, and she was grateful. She said a lot of thanks to you. I didn't tell you that, but she just said thanks, and he enjoyed also your company here. You eating supper that day. I remember. I don't know if I was right there. You took supper that day, and
Uh,
that is a very big thing to us Africans. If you're not hungry, but you're just eating it, that's something that you're just happy about. You're just happy about that.
I did do the last meal there. I think I did.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to film while the other person is eating. And so I have a lot of snacks and things, and they probably thought I never ate anything all day. That always gets
Mhm.
really confusing. So I have things in my bag, but I pull it out when people aren't looking because I'm trying to do my job. And so if I eat, it's gonna be like fast and they're not gonna see it. But yeah, I did eat
Oh,
the last meal, and I know that that's always a
yeah,
blessing. I had another guy in Kenya say the same thing. That he
yeah.
was very glad I ate with him.
Yeah, they were so happy about that. And they would never imagine they would be on something like that. Me as a photographer, I've never like I don't know, I take it for granted most of the time. I don't take them. But I go out to the field there, I can go and do photography there. But I'm glad you came in. They saw themselves on the screens.
It'll be
They're
special for
promising as they grow up. Yeah, I told you it's very special for them.
Especially someday when she
Yeah.
gets married, she can show her kids.
Sure, absolutely. The next maybe 20 years or something, YouTube doesn't forget. As long as it just stays there in the YouTube. Maybe
Yeah.
she's gonna see that. And it's gonna remind her of her past experiences.
Mm-hmm.
She will remember you, absolutely. And the project that you do, she'll be happy about it.
All right. I wanted to ask you in the beginning here, what time was she waking up? It was just a little bit after sunrise, wasn't it? He has to get up pretty early.
Most of the days, Monday to Saturday actually, they're supposed to be in school at around 6, latest 6:30. They're supposed to be in school. So she has to wake up early at around 5:30 or something, 5 or maybe sometimes 5:30, depending on what time she slept the other night. But if she slept a little bit early, she can wake up at 5, maybe do her preparations before going to school. And
that's
there's a lot of
interesting for other kids and parents to hear, like, my child has to get up at this time in the morning and she's got to get up. She's got to wash herself, get ready, get her bag packed, eat the dog, water the dog.
So she has to wake up early in the morning, and my mother has to wake her up because my mother also has to prepare to go to school because she's a teacher at the same school where she's studying.
Right.
And she has to go through, dressing up, taking breakfast, and also doing some little bit of courses up here there. But that's just for some smaller time after she wakes up and prepares herself up. Like as you can see right now, she's helping mom with milking. Sometimes she goes in to help mom with the milking. So she takes the other cow that he can, suck before they can milk it. And I think after that is when mom has to check her as she leaves home, to make sure that everything is right. And most of the time, because she's a girl, it's mostly advisable for them, and our parents like it when they work with their friends, not just alone because it's a girl, for security reasons or something. But it's not that we have security issues, but just because of them, just because how they have grown and how our parents want them to be, they just want them to work with their friends.
Does your mom walk to school also, or does she get a ride with someone?
Most of the time she walks. Most of the time she can get a ride because
all those kids are yelling at her.
Yeah.
They were yelling at me, actually, I think. But
yeah, I wanted to say that.
Calling
they
out.
saw you for the first time. For the first time, most of us, we say, most of the time, they haven't seen somebody like you there before.
Right.
Person of different color. These are kids, they haven't seen people like you for most of the time.
That makes it very hard here in the morning when they were all getting used to me. So everywhere that I have to walk, everywhere I have to go, these kids are staring at me. They're jumping in front of the camera. And this is the hardest of all. I don't know how many we did in all these different countries, 6 countries. This one was the hardest as far as trying to get kids not to look at the camera. I never had a harder time than doing it in a full school. Because oh boy, everybody, and they didn't just look at the camera, they would run up, jump in front of the camera to get in the shot when I'm trying to film her. So it's tough.
It's tough there. It's because they are not used to, they have not seen people like you before. And then if you become friendly with them, the reason as to why they're jumping at you, maybe they're saying, this person is so friendly with us, she's waving at her, he's waving
they know
at
my
us.
name.
And,
they constantly call out my name, and they want to get it. They want to be in the shot. So as a filmmaker trying to do a documentary, I have to work very hard to get shots when they're not looking at me. I'm constantly changing angles. I'm hiding. I'm trying to get things zoomed in. I'm trying to. Oh, this was a challenge, a big
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah, yeah. It happens. It happens a lot. It really happens a lot. People, the people that they used to, they're athletes. The athletes that maybe come from America or Europe, you know, those are the people that have been used to seeing them on the roads, but not being so much familiar to them until where they can greet them and talk to them and hug them. So when they get that chance, they gotta use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here, this is a kind of an opening assembly where one of the teachers comes in and they're just doing a little bit of homework. They're playing outside. There's a lot of kids coming into all the different classrooms. So that's what you see right here in the beginning.
Now, and that's now what you're seeing here is, so when they get to school that morning, as I told you, they usually wake up at 5. They should be in school like something like 6:30. So after they get to school, it's around 6:30. It's around 6:30, 7:30. That's just a little bit of time for those students who haven't finished their homework or something. They have to get to read a little bit and collect their homework up. And after collecting their homework up, they have to, they have to like walk around before they wait for the time for the assembly, because there's a bell that is going to ring. There's a bell that's going to ring.
I saw they were working on homework, especially in the beginning. And but a lot of kids still hadn't made it in yet. And then they did this huge opening assembly where they sing. The singing actually happened after. I put it in here. I show it at kind of a different time, but we have the Pastor Mayo, which is one of our Final Frontiers supported preachers. He actually.
So what's happening here?
Some of these other teachers.
I'm sure this was on Friday.
Yes, it's Friday.
In that school, every Friday there is something we call a morning devotion, where it only happens once in a week, only on Friday, where the students gather up for a morning devotion, where they have to sing, praise God, and do all that. I'm sure that is what happened. So here they have to gather, all of them. During my time, because I was in the same school, we used to gather from maybe grade 4 to grade 8. We went on one block, and maybe from elementary school to grade 4, we used to gather on one point. I don't know that day. I don't know if they were all together on that. The whole school was there, or maybe they had segmented them. But I'm sure it is a morning devotion that always happens.
Yeah, that's good to know. I wasn't sure if they did that every day, but I was there on a Friday, so I was there on a good day. That was a good plan that everybody did for me there. And they had her get up, even though she wouldn't be in some of those groups singing. They put her up there anyway because everybody was trying to get her in the shots. In the same way that the teachers let her ask questions, and you'll see her in the shots. But pretty regular day. That's Pastor Mayo there.
Yeah.
Kind of a burgundy suit.
Pastor Mayo also.
Here, I got that shot with your mom and the child. She was raising her hand.
That's my mom.
I thought she'd like that.
Yeah.
Now, see, that kid is staring at me, but every once in a while you'll see a kid. I have to forgive it, because there's so much of it. If you look around the shots, you will see kids staring at me. But I'm trying to get you to focus on Eclah, so hopefully they won't notice. There are a lot of kids. I have to be.
They brought in the old school. This is the old school.
They got better through the day at not looking at me.
They got used to you after that.
Yeah, they warm up to you.
So that is Teacher Caroline. She taught me back in the days. I'm seeing her there still.
I was wondering, because she did Bible class, she did English class, she did. She was real talkative out there. She was constantly teaching and talking.
Now, Farah, I think she was in the Scouts team. She was in the Scouts. I think she is a Scout.
Okay.
They used to do some little bit of marching, raising the flag. After raising the flag, they would sing the national anthem.
Okay. Yeah, they had
Yeah.
like a Kenyan Pledge of Allegiance, like we do here.
Yes.
They do
It's a
that in our
different
schools.
kind of the 3 fingers or what? The
The
chest? Or-
salute. What's their
Yeah,
salute?
they for students here, they're being taught a lot of different salutes, and in the scouts, they are told any types of salute. They have the Chinese salute. There's a way they used to do it. There's the Kenyan salute. The Kenyan salute is, I think, it's therefore they do that for the students who are scouts. There's a rule for them where they have to do 3, something like that. For the girls, I don't know, they are putting here, you'll see for the boys doing there. So it's kind of different. I wasn't in the scouts, but I used to save them a lot, so I don't understand so much about scouting. I'm so happy she's there. I learned from her.
Your first class of the day.
This is a Swahili class. This is a Swahili class. This is a Swahili class I saw there.
One of the differences between like United States and there is those children, a few of them are sent across the land over to another building to pick up the books for each class. And sometimes they'll pick up a couple different classes, but usually they're going over there, they get the Swahili class books, bring it back, and then the child hands them all out. That's something that it's a little bit different. You'll see, I don't show it every single time, but they disappear. When the first time she did that, actually, I lost track of her. I did not know it was coming. And so when she would disappear, I got better at it, but I could not find her, I'd be scared. I'd be looking around like, oh, great. And after that, I started catching her and everything, but I had to watch for like her braids. There was a few other girls that had braids like her because she was wearing the same clothes. So that was very difficult, but I eventually got used to her height and her braids, and I would look out across like 100 kids and I'd try to find her.
How we do it in Kenya and most of the schools in Kenya is the school buys a lot of books for the students. And there's different books for each subject for the pupils actually. And what they do every evening, they have to collect those books and take them to the secretary or to the library. So that building you saw was the secretary's office that acted as the library also.
Yes,
so
at the end of the day, you see that they all hand them all back in.
So at the end of the day, they have to hand over the books. The next day, they have to go for the books again. They have to count the books. They're going to distribute the books among themselves, and then they have to collect the books again and take it back to the library. So that helps the students. They're still little kids. They can do a lot to the books that is not good, and that's why they have to do that. But they have their private books for maybe like exercise books. This other books. Maybe if I bought my own book, I can just use it without taking it to the library. But the school's property, they have to be taken back to the library to be kept well, so that they can bring it again tomorrow.
That makes sense.
There's constant playing games here, and that's what's about to happen. They run outside and they all do their own thing. Some of them will kick a ball. The boys will do that, but she's going to be playing this rock game, which is either Kora or Ba'u. When I looked it up, I saw that Kora, and I see they play it in Malawi and they play it all over, especially Eastern.
Oh, I thought it was in Kenya only. I'm surprised it's also in Malawi.
Yeah, I see it in other East African countries, definitely. So that this game, but I see different rules, and some of them have got like a wooden board with all these holes, and it's just like a game of economics and teaching them how to. I don't know. She really enjoyed it. She's really good at it.
She likes playing it a lot. I used to playing it also back in the day. I know how to play it well right now, but them they're using stones. In our times, we used soda maples. I don't know if you know that soda maples. I don't know. Have you ever seen one? We used to play with soda maples. Now they're playing with some little pebbles or something. So what they do is they have to arrange them evenly in all those holes, and then start distributing them until where it ends. That is, it has to show you something to the other person, like that. It's such a nice game. It's such a
giving
nice
and taking. Yeah,
it's
and protecting their own piles.
If we could find like the instructions of how the game plays, if you can play it with anything, we could put a link in the description so that.
Sure. I saw some videos. There's a lot of videos out there that talk about the game, but some of them were very different from what she was playing. So it was hard for me. There's 3 different names for this. And some of them were obviously like a bank, and some of them were a completely different game. So it's difficult for me to know which one it was.
It's kind of like Monopoly. But
Yes.
not exactly.
Yes, because you'll find this. You say bank. You're right. Each one of them has a bank, and you have to calculate wisely on where you're going to. It's like something like economics, investing,
right?
And you have to play the game right to make sure that you don't lose, and make sure that you get much from the other person, where the other person has. I think that we have to do away. It's such a wide game, but it helps the kids to understand about economics, mathematics, helping them to count. And it's also something like a mind game, something like chess. So I used to enjoy it, and she enjoys it so much. She likes doing it so much.
That sounds like a fantastic game.
Yeah.
You know, the whole point of Monopoly is to bankrupt everyone else.
That's pretty much what goes on here. She challenges a lot of other kids, and she really good at it. She intimidates them. As you'll see at the end of the video, she's like intimidating. She's like, a bad move, very bad move. English, because I'm there with the camera, so she's like saying everything in English by that time.
So now we know, like in 20 years, Kenya is going to be like the financial capital of the world. Everybody's like, they got this, man.
I'm praying for that too. You know, if it happens, good for us. I'm praying for that, because if you see all these kids are doing that, and they're understanding Monopoly, they're understanding how these games are being played, and they're going to apply it maybe in the future. So we pray
that
for
would be
them.
fantastic.
You see a picture of it here, but then you see it again during recess, and then at the end of the day, she goes full blast into it again. Anytime that they get a chance, they're either skipping rope or they're doing this, but this, I would say even more. They did this a lot.
And mostly, if you see at this game is mostly played by the kids. A lot of kids actually play this. A lot of girls actually play this game. Boys, there's some boys who like it, but there are a few of them. Most boys like doing football. They like doing where they're going to hide or something. Yeah.
Some of the boys did, yeah. Once in a while I'd see some boys. But football is bigger for them. This is also something that you don't see in a lot of classes. They do this little dance, and I'll show it throughout the video, but when they get an answer right, they sing this song about shining like a star, 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 and they do this little dance.
It's a form of appreciation for the young ones. I'm going to show you there's a version of the young people how they're being appreciated, and also there's a version of the older people how they're being appreciated. For the girls, if they do something right, for the kids actually, the kids, if they do something right, there's a song that is going to be clapped for while they're singing. So someone is going to feel special because he or she has done something good. So they have to clap for him and sing for that person. That's how the kids do it. Yeah, this is the secretary office that acts as a library.
And that was the restrooms right before that. It's the only 3 places she's going to go is either to the main assembly room where they eat. She's going to go to this library here, or she's going to go to the bathrooms. So we show the bathrooms from a distance, but it's like just a wooden walls around there, like an outhouse area. And then they come out in the big tub they wash their hands in.
They have a different subjects. They have English, they have Swahili, they have science, they have mathematics, they have social studies and Christians and CRE. So they, So they're going for English. And after this, if you saw clearly, they had to return these books because they have to be counted by the secretary.
She has 7 classes during this day.
Yeah.
If you include physical education, it's 7 altogether.
I think that's what they have here in the States too. At least that's what my kids have. Busy day.
Yeah, very busy.
Yeah. The movement 2 is by running. They are being advised by the teachers have to run all time.
Ah, I did not know that. This
Yeah.
they were getting tired already, and she made him run across and run back, and I could tell it like woke him up.
Yeah. When
And she had her run clear across, grab a leaf, and bring it back, and then she used it in her diagram of English of a leaf, a leaves.
Oh, visual illustration.
There were a lot of sayings and just short little sentences that are being taught back and forth to learn English. Back to the bathrooms again. All of them are constantly pulling up their socks. They have to wear those tight socks. Hey, it looks like we lost Caleb here, Daniel.
Uh-oh.
All right, so this is porridge break. All of them are coming in for kind of a mid-morning break here. Is this milk tea or like a thick? Some of it looked like thicker porridge.
yes. So most of the time when they're making porridge, they have to make it thicker because when it's thicker, it's much sweeter to them. They have to enjoy, as you can see, what they're doing with the porridge.
Well, they have to
Because
cool it
sweetness.
down. I've seen little kids do that too. They're trying to cool it down. It's a good trick.
Yes, because of time also, they're being given a little time frame to go and have a break time to drink porridge. So they have to cool it down so that they can drink it faster before going and getting back to the next class.
And
See, so they're
rope.
spending they drank their breakfast, they drank their porridge faster, so they're using that extra time to do some little bit of play before getting back to class.
Yes. And she just loves skipping rope, but she'll like take the rope herself. But this is physical education right away, so all of the kids have got underneath their uniforms, they've got their play clothes.
Nice.
Yeah. So it seems they had the confidence that time to play because they knew the next the next session is going to be PE. We used to call it PE, physical education.
That's what we call it.
Yeah. So in the schedule there, they're being taken out, and their teacher has to coach them. This time you'll see they won't play on their own most of the time. The teacher has to coach them on this physical education. Yeah, and they have different activities that they do there. They skip the rope, they run around, they
Well,
do
on this day, he did do stretching, as you see there, but then he totally went into different types of skipping rope. Different days they do different things. Like he might have him play football on another day, maybe.
Yes, there's some time where they can be separated. Boys to go and play football, girls to go and play some other things, maybe like netball. They have a netball track outside there, and sometimes also they can go for athletics competition, maybe 100 meters, 200 meters, 800 meters. But on this day, I see they were playing they were just skipping rope and playing their basic games they had played before. But there's different activities that the teacher plans for them and on different occasions.
They ended it with a very spirited game here of the Bawu.
What's that game called?
Well,
It's
it's
called
two different
Kora.
words. Yeah, Kora.
Yeah. Good.
Now this was the teacher that I thought was very patient. He's a science teacher. Daniel, this kid right here, he said he's very intelligent. He's constantly asking questions about things floating, things sinking, scientific stuff that he had seen, and he's trying to understand it.
Yeah.
He's a future science in the making.
Yeah, he's like a scientist here.
Is a top student actually in their class. Is normally the top student in their class. And even on a normal day, hang out with him any day. He's gonna gonna disturb you with questions. He's gonna ask you, why is it that your hair looks like this? Why is it my hair looks like this? What are we doing have in difference? Why are you tall? Why are you short? So
He was asking,
likes asking questions.
yeah, his name's Bradley. I heard his name a
Yeah.
lot. I didn't catch a lot of names, but I constantly heard Bradley because some of the other kids would be impatient because he's asking
Yeah.
the teacher these questions. They're like, why can't you understand this? And it was hilarious. He's really like trying. If you see him, he's thinking hard. I got some shots of him really thinking, and it's pretty funny.
Well, that's the way I always was growing up.
Yeah.
As a kid, it was never enough for me to simply know that something is. I must know why it is.
I thought you would appreciate this kid. You'll have to go back and watch that part, get to know him.
His father is actually a teacher.
Okay.
So when you get around his father, is gonna tell you. Sometimes I don't want him to be asking me questions. I need to spend some time alone because he wants to know everything actually. But the good thing is
I can relate.
He never forgets. Yeah, he never forgets, and also he's the top student in his class. He migrated to another school, but he's the one leading in that school also where he
That's
went.
interesting.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
He said metals sink, nothing evil. That's like
buoyancy.
That one kid right there, I cut it out, but he got slapped. He got hit in the head for going after his porridge too quick.
Uh-oh.
Okay, now this is like rice and beans. This is not Touch of Life, but these kids do eat Touch of Life. Some of these kids, like in her church, Pastor Mayo's church, has Touch of Life every Sunday. But this is similar to what they would be eating. So
yeah, in the school, they like Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday they would eat rice and beans. But on like Tuesdays and Thursdays, they have a different diet. Maybe they could eat some ugali. They have literally different diets on different days. So on this day, you found them eating rice and beans. That's actually one of the staple foods here. That's normally what that's the food that most people eat here. And also, there's a lot of students, there's a lot of pupils in the school that they study they come to our church there, so they enjoy the people. There are many of the pupils here are beneficiaries of the Touch of Life program, and that is actually amazing.
I did get to be there for one of those times when some of these kids were there eating. They got there. I think Bradley was getting the dance that time.
So they teach economics in elementary school. A couple of years ago, they added an economics class in a high school in Georgia and made it a requirement for graduation. So it's one of the elective classes that you have to take. But I was kind of shocked that we don't teach economics in our schools, and we wonder why so many people don't understand money and can't manage their money. So it's good that they're learning the basics of that stuff at such a young age. That will help them so much.
Yeah. They're being taught that mostly in the mathematics class, but they don't call it actually economics. I think it's a topic that they have in there. Where they're being taught on how to manage, how to count money, how to do that. Things to do with currencies. They've been taught different currencies. So that is actually in mathematics. Yeah.
And
that is
grade 4. Isn't that like, is it 8, 9, and 10, or 9, 10, and 11? Because there's like 3 different ages in here.
Yeah, it's from 8 to latest 12, but mostly 8, 9, 10, 11.
So this is more like what we call middle school then.
Yes.
Yeah, they're kind of grouping it in here. I had heard that there was about 3 different ages usually in a single class of 4th graders here.
Yeah, so that is it. 8, 9, 10, 11. These are people who have the same age group. They can think the same. So getting to that grade, they have to be like together. That's the same age that has to be in that class.
And I notice it says Bible class. So is this a Christian school or is this a public school?
It's a private school. It's owned by somebody.
I got you.
And having this Bible class, it's like Christian religious education. So they're being taught about as you can see there, they're being taught about the Bible, the New Testament, the Old Testament. Maybe it was a topic. Yeah, she was there. You see there CRE, that is Christian Religious Education. Bible class is like a topic in them. That is a topic they have. They're being taught about the Bible. They're being taught everything that we do in church. They're being actually taught there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's why a lot of these kids, he was saying, benefit from the Touch of Life program in Pastor Mayo's church that's not too far away in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
It's Christian kids. They sang a lot of songs here. And some of it, if you watch this video, I did some of it like Fishers of Men. I did half of it in Swahili and half in English, where I kind of combined it. So if some other kids are watching this, they can see what it's like in Swahili to sing those songs.
Yeah. So for them to grasp it, they have to sing it. There's a song.
That apple right there, that was mine. I'm sorry. I had to it was a really funny thing that happened. They thought it was an American apple all the way from America, but really George Stoomby gave it to me. And they all had to like bite it. They thought it was from the United States.
Well, it may have been. Who knows?
Yeah. Now this is their homework after. This is like studying after. It's already getting through it right now, and they're taking all the books back. But they had this time where they kind of led the charge on this whole deal. They bring their desks together, and they all worked on their homework issues.
Yeah. So they have to return the books in the evening, like I just said. That is the secretary's place. Then they have a small parade where they're being given instructions about their homeworks, how they're supposed to come back tomorrow the next day. They're not going to the weekend, right? This was on Friday. So they have to be briefed on maybe school issues, what they're supposed to tell their parents, what they're supposed to do maybe coming in on the Mondays, how the week was. And they have to do a little bit of parade before they have to leave to their.
They had one of the longest playtimes right after that. It seemed like school was all done, but then a lot of the kids, some of the kids were leaving, but a lot of the kids were still there. They're just playing, I guess.
From elementary group to the fourth grade, they have to go home. And then from grade 5 to grade 8, they still have to stay in school. You see, they're not in the parade. So my mother is a teacher in the same school. My mom has to finish the week's course. She has to finish everything before she goes home. So that time where she still remains in school, she has to wait on my mom so they can go together home. Yeah, and I don't know, or maybe sometimes my sister will just stay because she knows most of the time nobody's at home. So I'm just saying on a normal basis, she should wait on my mom, and sometimes she will just go in with the next group.
That's what I figured. And she was going to jump in a car with somebody else, and then they made her stay out. And so she ended up walking home with the crowd. So it's hard for me to tell what was all happening. I just follow her. Yeah. What's her favorite class? Can you tell me that?
Yes. I can tell. She's good, actually. She likes English, Swahili, and CRE. That is what she likes most of the time. The other things like mathematics and these other things, she performs well in it, but sometimes when you ask her about it, she's like, I'm doing it for the teacher. Let me try out. But she likes English, Swahili, and CRE because she can strain on that. She doesn't strain so much in doing that. Yeah, the church has really helped her a lot there. And also home, my mom's also a teacher, so sometimes she would get issues, she would ask my mom, she'd ask us, and that is it. She just likes it.
They're about to get done here and go home. Take off walking. I've got a piece of music that I play that I saved for this one. I really like this piece of music because it just feels like the day is done and we're going home.
And the week is over too.
Yeah, right. I've even got one of the kids that if you listen real close, you hear one of the kids saying, "It's Friday, go home."
Yeah, it's a form of relief. And as you can see here, there's some pupils walking and others who are in a car. The others who are going to be taken on a vehicle. So these are people who come from really far places where their parents were advised to maybe make some more fees on for them to use the car, to use the school van. But the students who just from around school, they can just walk. Like you can see my sister, the distance from home to school, it's not that far actually. It's something like 2, yeah. So my mom actually that day, she went home earlier than her. Yeah.
Now, how often does she clean out the sheep pen?
It has to be done daily.
That's what I was going to ask.
I was going to say, yeah, probably every day.
So they herded all the sheep out, swept everything out inside and below, and then got them back in.
I used to keep goats and animals, and I can tell you, you don't want to skip a day. It's bad news.
If you skip a day, the day I'm going to clean it, you're not going to feel good about it. So it's so much easier to do it every day than to do it once.
Chickens as
After
well.
that, this is to feed the chickens. Yeah, so after feeding the chickens, she has to help her mom in maybe some little bit of preparing the supper, because she has to prepare some little bit of supper. And she's being taught actually also, she's being taught by my mom, because she's going to grow to be an older sister and an older girl. So she has to be taught on how to cook and to do this little bit of courses. My mom puts her into doing that work, yeah.
You hear mom's milking back there.
So after that, so she's put some water in the kitchen, in the fireplace, so it can warm up before she goes to take a shower. She's supposed to take a shower actually, and as the fire does its work, boiling the water, she can now play with the kids, drink some little bit of tea as she warms up to go and take a shower. As she waits for the water to.
It was quite.
So they have to play this.
Yeah. They had a milk tea break, and then they went back out. Now the first boy, I was thinking he might be a neighbor, but this boy, he must be related.
Yeah, we are far related. He's our neighbor. He's our neighbor's kids, but we are also related by far. Not so much close, but we are related. When you follow the uncles or whatever, we are related. But that's his close friend and a neighbor. Today he can come to our home. Tomorrow my sister can go maybe to their home, because we share a lot of different things. And also that day the boy was coming in for vegetables. I think he was coming in for vegetables or something. He was coming in to take something from our home. And also
but this boy here.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was the hot.
Yeah. So she was now going to take a shower.
I know he stayed and he ate dinner there. He did everything with him. Homework. He was making a lot of jokes during.
So they like spending time together. Yeah. Sometimes they can come to our home. Sometimes my sister can go to their home. They like just doing stuff together.
Yeah, he was making a lot of jokes during. There was a couple TV programs that they watched here.
Yeah.
And there's the ugali.
Yes. That is our favorite meal actually. It's one of my favorites too.
Mm-hmm. We have that in our cooking show coming up. It's going to be the very next cooking show one. I talked with George quite a bit on that, where he was showing me how to cook it.
It's pretty easy though.
Now, see, this dog, he's eating whole chunks of ugali and milk tea.
Yes.
Lapping it up. And that doesn't happen here in America with their dogs. They feed them dog food like from a bag.
Oh. So dogs in
I feed my dog just food. Regular food.
What we do here, we give there's actually a small tray where the dog takes its from.
There's you.
And we had to feed it daily. And also, dogs don't stay in the house here in Kenya. Most of the times, you can find some people putting in the house, but Commonly, no, we don't. It has its kennel outside there, so we have to feed it outside there. Then after that, maybe after taking supper, they have
Now,
to
was this
enjoy.
the lady
Yes.
that was there? Was she an aunt, or was she the one that she was playing with at the very end there?
Uh-huh.
They were kind of slapping each other, and I never caught exactly. I mean, her mother was there, you were there, and then there was one other lady that was there at the end.
It's our neighbor. It's
That
our
is also your
neighbor.
neighbor. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's our neighbor. Sometimes in our home we have a cow and it gives us milk, and we have something in the farm. So what makes them come most of the time is maybe they have to take milk every evening. They have to sometimes take milk every evening, or some of our neighbors coming for their vegetables every evening. So you'll find different neighbors coming in. Today you'll find another one, or maybe another neighbors coming to discuss maybe something with my mother, things like that. A friend to my sister, as I said earlier. So we have different people coming in. Yeah, it happens. It happens. It's so common here.
You've got the sheep, you've got the milk, and you've got all those
Yeah.
vegetables growing in the back.
It's a small garden actually. It's a garden.
Okay.
And, it what makes us busy. My sisters. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Who you got there? It looks like you got another visitor next to you.
Oh, it's my neighbor.
See, there we go. We've been talking about neighbors showing up for milk.
Yes, yeah. It's my neighbor actually is coming to join me here. He was surprised. Why am I talking English so much today?
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. He's used to saying we talk Swahili, so he's wondering why is this guy speaking English so much today? What is he doing?
Well, this one we've talked a lot more. We've explained a lot more, and I think we got a lot of good information there.
Amen.
Yeah.
What time did she go to bed? What is her normal bedtime, do you think?
Yeah, on that day, because it was on Friday and the next day was on Saturday, so maybe sometimes, mostly on Fridays, they sleep late because she has to watch some things on TV.
Okay.
She has to do a lot of things, yeah, but on a normal day, she has to sleep by 9 because she has to wake up the next day 5 or 5:30. So
Yeah.
on a normal day, they have to sleep like actually early so that they can wake up early in the morning the next day. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm hoping that we'll have some other school teachers watch this video. I know of one lady that helps a lot with different grades of children, and she said she was going to show it to some of her kids and hopefully some of the other workers. And so it's something fun. I'm hoping that a lot of parents out there will show these. We've got one from Honduras, and now we've got one from Kenya showing how children of different ages live in different countries. It's
That was a
big
good
difference.
idea, having them run to wake up.
Yeah, it is. Those days can get long when you're a
I
kid in
bet.
school.
I would be sitting there like, wake up.
They'd get up, have
wow.
us get up by our desks and do jumping jacks and things like that, but we never got to go running.
Okay. Oh,
It's good because you get
we
a
have-
change
yeah.
of scenery, you know.
Yeah.
You see here where that most athletes actually come from this area. So most of they're used to seeing these athletes and people. So when it comes to class, the teachers want them they give them that competitiveness so that they can be active. They're supposed to go out, run, come back. You find most of them praising themselves. So I'm Kipchoge. The next one says, because I'm so fast, I'm Rudisha or somebody. These are just the names of these athletes. That's how that it is here in Kenya. They have to be made active by doing something, by
Okay.
doing
A
something.
lot of competition.
Yeah, competition. They have to be made to compete.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to have somebody here from the country, especially someone who's
Yeah.
right there. And not too terribly long ago, you were her age, so a little while ago, but me too. See, I'm reminiscing when I was in 4th grade. So all of us are remembering.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Time goes fast.
It really does.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
for your time.
This is probably the best one yet, I think. It's good.
Oh, wow. I'm thankful. Thank you, Josh, and thank you,
Yes.
Daniel,
Thank
for
you.
hosting me for this time. I know you had a lot of things to do, but you just spare this time to have a talk with me.
I hope you have a
Yeah.
good night because it's like 6 o'clock at night there.
Yeah, it's actually yeah. It's like 7 right now.
7. Okay, so you're 7 hours ahead of us then.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Goodbye.